Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Build Your Copywriting Business podcast. Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hello. As always, I am joined by my glamorous and wonderful,
Ooh.
glamorous.
That's
That's what
a
we're going
word to
with today.
achieve. Yep.
Yes. My glamorous co-host, Kate Sitars. Hello, Kate.
Hello.
Hello. And today we have the pleasure of being joined by CCA student and copywriting superstar, Bart Alabout. Hello, Bart. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Hello. Super. We're very much looking forward to sitting down and chatting with you and sharing your story. And as with many stories, the best place to start tends to be the beginning. So what is your background and how did you get into copywriting?
My background has nothing to do with copyright, as like most people, I guess.
Yeah.
I was actually working in sales, corporate job sales, and I was also a personal trainer on the side for myself. It was back in the day where online businesses were just starting, so I was really good at when clients came over. I think I still to this day have a 100% conversion rate for everyone who came in.
Okay. Good for you.
Started with me. Thanks.
Yeah.
But then online started to make its entrance. So I started making my own website. But that did not go as planned. I did not get anyone, and I was very straight to the point, very bulleted, like many corporate jobs I was used to. And then I started to search why, I wasn't getting any traction, and that's why I discovered copyright. So I started experimenting with it, did some courses back in the day, which weren't that great, and a few years later, many years later, I actually enjoyed doing the copywriting and the marketing even more. So I decided to start doing that on the side. But I noticed that I had a lot of issues with pitching. And I started searching on Spotify, and there you were with your podcast. Yeah, magically.
Very full circle. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why a while later, I decided to join your course. And that was exactly what I needed. So it taught me how to pitch, and we're here now. Yeah.
Well, and how has your business evolved since you started working with us, since you started learning with our program?
It's been amazing. My difficulty was pitching. It really was pitching. And that was the main reason I joined the course, because the other courses were either like you were applying for a job with a resume. It was really bad. Or it was, send a really short pitch in bulk to everyone. And I can tell you it does not work. Then I joined where I did the whole course, of course, and not just the pitching part. But that really helped. I really made a connection with people. And so far, I'm now 11 months in the course, and I'm already booked out for 6 months at this point. So
that's
incredible.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. It's amazing.
It is amazing. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's only been like 2 months that I'm suddenly going from not really struggling, but having only a few clients, suddenly being 6 months booked out, and they're still coming in. So I'm very happy. A lot can change in a very short period if you don't give up. So
yes, just take the
true.
action, right? Yes.
Yeah.
I always compare it to you're pushing that boulder up the hill, it feels like. And then once it tumbles on the other side, you are just like, oh my gosh, there's so much work now. Like Nikki and Kate said that, but I didn't think it was possible.
Yeah, indeed. And to be honest, I was thinking about giving up in December. So I was really thinking about this is not going to work. And suddenly it dropped. So yeah.
Good for you. Yes, it's just so it's March now. You were thinking about giving up 3 months ago, and now you are booked out for 6 months. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, at that moment of feeling like you were wanting to give up, was there anything particular of just like, besides, okay, I'm gonna keep going? what got you through that? Because I think that's
Good
a
question.
key point that I think we all face with anything that we're doing, of that point of like, oh, this is getting really hard, but I'm just going to keep going.
Thinking of just having to work a 9 to 5, not flexibility. And I did not want to feel like a failure and come across as a failure to my sons. So that's actually what kept me going. I was like, nope, this just has to work. And yeah, I think I did have a little mindset shift at that point. And that helped. Yeah. So
Do you mind sharing what the mindset shift was? Because I feel like people could use that.
I think one, it was seeing yourself more as a business. I was already doing it a lot as a business, but at that point in time, I just really flipped the switch, and I was like, no, this has to work, but I have to see myself as a big company. I've done a lot of work for the corporations when I was doing it, and then I was, I have to have that mindset again and push through, and it made me realize, to take another look and how I present myself, and that has really helped.
Well, and you know, the idea of being a failure, I think you are wonderful proof of the fact that the only way to fail is to give up. If you keep pushing, if you keep following the steps, and if you keep, to your point, putting your pitch isn't working, okay, put it in the group and get some feedback on it, and improve and hone your skills and keep going, and it's going to happen for you. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. And I have to say, your podcasts really help. I always listen to them before I even get the email that there is a new podcast. It really helps to get to keep going. It's really big motivation. I think it might be nice for you to hear as well.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you.
I really enjoy your conversations you two have as well. Always makes me laugh. And it helps. It helps. It keeps me in the copywriting mindset, and really helps. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Really,
Thank you for
for
saying
sharing
that.
that. Yeah, we really appreciate it.
It does mean a lot.
Oh,
Thank you for sharing that low too, because I think we all have those moments, and I think we tend to, especially in the social media world, overshare the wins and undershare those moments, which is a huge win in and of itself, to keep pushing through the lows that we all have. So I appreciate you sharing that.
One of the best things I can say is I stepped away from social media. I do my advertising, but no posting at all anymore. I don't even look at it that much, and that has helped so much. Because you only see wins, and I know a lot of them are fake, but it still gets to you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for saying that too, because I think it's we all know, right, that comparison, we're like, comparison is the thief of joy, or whatever the phrase is, and but I'm not comparing, but you are on a subconscious. It just, there's no way to not let it seep. Yeah.
Indeed.
Wow. Thank you so much, really, for sharing this time. And
Hey there, it's Nikki. I wanted to take a very quick minute to make sure that you knew about our free on-demand copywriting training. Now, whether you are brand new to copywriting or you've been doing it for a while, but you just can't seem to hit those income goals, this training is for you. You are going to learn the 3 secrets to landing freelance copywriting work without relying on frustrating job bidding sites like Upwork or Fiverr, or without cold calling strangers. And if you've watched any of the student success stories on this channel, and if you haven't yet, check them out. This is the exact same training that they all started with. And I mean students like Kate K, who is making 6 figures working part-time and retired her husband to help her build her business. Students like Stuart, who replaced his full-time salary, which was a good one, with his freelance income and then some. Stacy, who hit 6 figures in her first 6 months as a freelance copywriter, and Ashley, who landed the in-house copywriting job of her dreams. They all started with this free training, and you can start with this free training too. So sign up right now at freecopywritingtraining.com. So what have you, as you have instituted this pitching process, what have you learned, or was there anything that was kind of a surprise to you as you gave this new way of doing it a try?
Surprise, yes. Um, when I thought I wasn't being salesy, I was still being salesy. And and doing more and more pitching, posting my pitch very often in the group has helped a lot because of all the feedback. And they told me a lot, look, this is too salesy, this is too salesy. And it helped me to switch it up, experiment with it. I experimented with it a lot. And now I found a way to actually give the value. I almost never ask for a meeting, just drop the value. And that has really helped me. So it's really made the connection a lot easier with people. And
That's
I actually get, I think, 80% replies on my pitches. So
that's
that's
great.
yeah.
That's really great. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? When we think that we think we've stripped out all the salesiness, all of the us focus elements of the emails, they can still sneak in there, and it takes someone outside of ourselves to see that and point it out. But once you start to see
Mhm.
it, then you can really learn and make that evolution into, like you said, just focusing on the value. Yeah, and good for you
Yeah.
for posting in the group as well. I think sometimes people are so happy to post the practice exercises, but they almost
Mhm.
forget when they get to the pitches, which is just as important, if not more so. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I was always afraid of posting my pitches, afraid of the feedback, bad feedback. But all I can say is they really need to do it. It helps a lot. So
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
I also try to be very active in the group. And when someone posts his pitch or anything else, of course, I really try to give my feedback and give back to the group, of course, because it's really important if they want to grow their business. Yeah.
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 I'm curious if how your sales background, if you feel like how that's played into kind of your process now. Was it unlearning some of the ways that you had gone about it in that world, or
Mm.
has it complemented it anyway? How is that kind of?
I think it has complemented it for the most part. I've never been a hard salesperson. It's always trying to build a connection, but it's always easier to take a conversation and see how it flows. And I know how to work a conversation to get exactly to the point where I want to be to wheel someone in. But how
Mhm.
do you do that on paper or
Yeah.
in an email? That was the hardest part. And that's when I noticed I wanted to get to that point too fast. That made me do very lousy transitions, if you could even call them transitions. So I had to unlearn that maybe. But the most part, yeah, it's really helped me to think about the conversation you would have with someone, how you would approach them in real life. And you're not going to drop a bomb on them when you see them. So really to ease into it, take it as a natural conversation, like you would meet someone and just be friendly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Very good
Absolutely.
advice.
Yeah.
And you are very active. Obviously, we've seen you in the group. How are you now? But do you have any other things that you've noticed in terms of stumbling blocks that you see, that advice that you would give to folks through some of, I know pitching is obviously a hurdle and stripping it of that salesiness, but I'm curious if there's anything else in the way of, I know you have advice, so just teeing you up for the.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the biggest advice, most important advice I would give is people need to see it more as a business sometimes.
Mhm.
I think people love copywriting, they get into it, but they see it a lot as a hobby. That's why they have a fear of asking a higher price, for example. They feel like they are, how should I tell? They don't like to pitch or like to address someone when in reality you're just trying to help them move forward with their business, and they have to see you as another business, and that's how they are going to see you, and it will help you. Yeah, you can ask a bigger price for it. I think that's one of the most important things I would say to a lot of people in the group. Of course, you're a business, so yeah, dare
Mhm.
to act
It's
like
true.
one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
true. We see that, just in my experience, see that with freelancers in general, new freelancers.
Mhm.
They tend to think they know that in theory what they have to offer is valuable, and they know that they practice and they're good at it. But sometimes when they think about prices, they think about, oh, would I pay that? And it has nothing to do with what you would pay as a person. You were pitching it to a business, and especially with copywriting, which is so valuable for someone's business, people are willing to pay for that. And what you would pay should not be a factor at all.
No, indeed. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's the same as you do with a sales letter. You take away the objections, you show the value, and if it's valuable enough, they will pay the price for it. I've learned it the hard way. I've done jobs that for so little money. That was yeah. And then you put so many hours in it. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time that you give up. And I started to increase my prices, and it has actually helped me gain better clients. They understand if I now say, for example, look, this is the deadline. I'm going to post it back. I want your feedback by next week. And I already tell them, if you don't give the feedback by next week, my deadline won't be, I can't make my deadline for you. And I will prioritize other clients who did meet their deadline. And in the beginning, that's very difficult to say. But I've noticed that every client has absolutely no problem with it. And they are still willing to pay the price. So
Absolutely. It's those boundaries they're so important, certainly, but they convey a respect for yourself. They convey a respect for your client and a respect for the project. And it's such a reasonable thing to say. If I don't hear back to you by this date, I can't adhere to the deadline we had set. It's a very reasonable thing to say. And we talk about this sometimes on coaching calls or in the group, that if a client were to have a problem with that, that's a red flag. That's probably not a client you want to work with again, right?
yeah, indeed. I have fired clients for it who didn't meet their deadline time and time again. I just said it stops here. That I will finish this project and then it's over. So it's not worth my having stress over it or doing a bad job. I don't like producing a bad job. I don't like rushing. I love my family, so I want to spend time with them, and I'm not willing to give that up for anyone. I don't care what they pay. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm curious if you don't mind sharing just what are some of the types of projects you're working on,
Yeah.
and is there anything that you love doing more than other things? And tell us all about it.
I love switching everything. So
Mm.
I see a lot of people niching down, and then you always say, don't niche down. I didn't. And I love that I didn't. I work in the fitness industry. I do a lot for the energy transition. So that's completely different. I'm working with interior designers. So everything. And I do emails, sales page, advertising. I put myself as a full funnel copywriter. So everything. And then I love doing everything. So it really helps me. If I had to do the same thing over and over again, or the same niche over and over again, I would get so bored. I had one time I had 3 personal trainer clients back to back, and by the third I was like, I have no idea how I'm not going to repeat myself. So I actually passed them off to someone else because I couldn't anymore. So that was so I love doing a lot of different things.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's so much more, and it keeps things fresh. And then as you learn things in one industry, you can take that to another industry that has not employed that technique at all yet.
Yeah. That's how I got my interior designer. She was actually looking for a lead magnet, and she was going to do another PDF like many, like you can roll out of ChatGPT. And I took an idea that we do a lot in copywriting, for example, giving 10-minute feedback on something in a video. So we use that. They get to send in an image, so a photograph of one room, and she gives, in a 10-minute video, she will give them feedback on how to get the room that they actually love. And that actually gets them into doing her full interior coaching. and it works like a charm.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a cool idea. I love
Yeah.
that.
That's
Very,
a
very
lot
cool.
of fun. A lot of fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, to your point, that's something that was not being done in the interior design industry. In other industries, certainly in our industry and in other graphic design, even development, but not in the interior. Ooh, that's good.
Good. Yeah.
Also, I mean, not to get off on a tangent, but that's some good content for her to then use. You snippets of that to post on social and all of that kind of thing. Oh, that's
Yes.
And I'm sure testimonials from those people that are like, ooh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that it's been a really great lead magnet. We also have emails that still get them into it, but she practically doesn't need them.
Yeah.
They almost always, once they get the feedback, we send a few mails and they sign up. So it's
Very
been great.
cool.
I know now. I want to do it.
I know.
I want to do it exactly, and then I want to hire her. Yes.
It's free. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. True. True.
I'm curious to just knowing that you've had fitness clients and that you had, background in the fitness space. Was that a natural place for you to start?
yeah, I think it was a natural place to start. Yeah, because I felt like I knew especially I knew the target audience
Mhm.
for all of those clients, because I was used to doing the sales conversations with them.
Mhm.
So I knew what their objections were, what I needed to tell them. So that was really easy to get into it, and that helped a lot. But I got really bored of it fast. So
Yeah.
No, that makes sense when you said you passed it off to someone else. I think if there's certain industries I worked in, same thing. And I'm like, I wrote this line for another client. It is time.
Mhm.
Like nothing fresh is coming. It is time.
yeah, same idea I had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit ago about firing clients, and I know
Mhm.
that sometimes people get nervous about that idea, or they think, well, I have to take this client because I need the work. Can you, and obviously being booked 6 months in advance, can you talk to, I guess, can you give people words of wisdom about the fact that there's a lot of work out there, that we don't have to be afraid to fire our clients, the ones we don't like?
No, I can give you some great advice. I think I was working at that time with two clients. One that had a lot of I had a lot of work to do for her, and then I had the other client that was the bad client. So it was already difficult to do them both, because of the amount of work. And she was being so annoying, like I already said, and I wasn't even really doubting. I was like, nope, I'm not giving up any time with my sons and my wife for this. I have work to do with the other client, and I was going to take her first. So I decided I'll just go for it. I fired her, focused on the other client, and that client then did a mastermind with other entrepreneurs, and that has led. So she presented what we had done together, how many clients she got from it, and that has led to 10 new clients for me instantly as referrals. So don't be afraid to fire one customer. Focus on the ones who do good, and yeah, it will
Yeah.
bring you other work. So
Yes.
Mhm.
Friends, there is so much work out there. So
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
When you mentioned your family, how has your transitioning to copywriting affected your time with your family?
At the beginning, it was difficult. You always do it in the evening a lot, so it kind of cuts into your time. But now it's been really enjoyable. So um, uh, I'm getting used to it. Of course, I know, how to do my conversations, how to do my sales calls. I know when to plan them, so it doesn't cut into the time anymore. So yeah, it's something. If you want to build a business, you'll have to bite through it, but it's been a few months, and it's fine already. So it's nothing to be afraid of.
Mhm. Exactly. Well, and then too, you end up with that flexibility of being able to do things during the day that you might not have been able to do at a corporate job. Certainly, we hear from a lot of our students being excited that they can go to school events in the middle of the day that they would have never been able to do it and be there for. So that's wonderful that you have that opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice. Yeah. And being able to pick up the kid after school, because they end very, when I was in school, I was like, oh, 4 o'clock, it's late. And now it's like, oh, damn, they stop at 4 o'clock and I have to be ready. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the older they get, at least in the States, the older they get, the earlier it ends.
I was to say we were ended at like 2 in high school or something.
Wow.
Sports and all of that.
Wild.
But, we started very early.
That's very early. Ooh.
Yeah. We started like 7 in the morning. It was awful.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Strange schedule. Strange.
Yeah.
And actually, Bart, are you working with clients all over the world, or
That was going to be my next question.
For the moment, that was the goal. So I also do English and Dutch, but it has now it's all in Dutch at this point. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a testament too to the fact. I think sometimes people think, well, okay, well, I could, if I could work with an American company or if I can work with an English speaking country, think, well, I don't know if there are going to be enough Dutch companies to keep me in business. I don't know if there are going to be enough countries.
Let's reiterate.
Yeah,
Bart booked out 6 months with just Dutch clients. That's incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
it is possible. It's possible. Yeah. I was also thinking I need to address the English speaking market. So American companies, the UK, if I want to get more, of people, but it was not necessary at all. So, and it made my life a little bit easier as well, because although I'm very used to thinking in English, it's rather difficult to write decent copy in a language you're not used to. Because conversationally, you can hear it. Our conversation is also a little bit more difficult for me, even though I'm very used to speaking in English, but still,
clearly,
it's not the same. It's not the same. And you have to be able to put that on paper. It's very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is a special level of challenge to write in a language that you are not a native speaker in. Certainly possible, but it can be a challenge. But to your point, even no matter what country you're in, there's going to be enough work. There are going to be enough companies, enough organizations to support you, and then some.
Yeah, they're even where you wouldn't be thinking of clients. For example, the interior designer, it was one of the referrals I got. I would have never thought about pitching a company that did interior design. Never. And then they contacted me and I was like, oh, nice. So
why not?
Yeah, there are so many companies.
Absolutely.
So cool.
So I realize you are still in your first year, which congratulations, booking out 6 months in advance and still being in your first year.
Thanks.
But do you have any thoughts about what the next iteration of your business is? Are you looking to grow it in any specific ways, or are you just kind of focused on what you're doing now? Exactly, enjoying the ride.
I'm going to enjoy the ride. I'm not really. You hear a lot of people that want to start an agency and want to work with other people. I love my flexibility so much. I don't have to think about anyone else, just my deadlines and my clients, and that's so refreshing for me. So I'm just going to, if it grows, it grows, but I still want to stay a one man company business.
Yeah. It's a great life, and clearly you're living it well.
I'm enjoying
it. As well you should. You deserve to enjoy it. So now, if anybody's listening and they're thinking, oh, Bart is amazing. I would really love to hire him to do some work for me. Where can people find you?
So I have my website. It's copydat.be, but it's really written in a very strange way. So it's copy th, then how do you call it? A minus, and then add, because I wanted to do advertising more. So, and then .be. And I also have a .com in English. And otherwise, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook under CopyDad.
Awesome. Awesome. And we will put those links in the show notes, certainly. So in case anybody's scribbling it down quickly, don't worry about it. It's in the show note. Yes.
Thank you.
But Bart, this has been so helpful and so inspiring. I know that people are going to listen to this and think, oh, there's a lot to take away from this, and maybe to gently light a fire under people and get them back to pitching and get them to taking action and really thinking of themselves as a business. So thank you so much for sitting down with us today and sharing your story.
My pleasure.
Excellent. And so with that, we will catch you all in the next episode. Bye, everybody. Like what you heard? Hit subscribe so you never miss a video. And if you're ready to take the first step toward becoming a copywriter yourself, sign up for a free video training right here.